welcome to today's Business Booster Shot virtual event. And this is an event that collaboration with the Do It in Durham Week. And this is the 8th year that Do It in Durham organized by BACD. And in the hard times, we all need a shoulder to lean on and friends and families to help us through, and business in North Durham is no different. As the founder and chair of the Uxbridge Networking Group, I have decided to host the Business Booster Shot Emerging Stronger Together virtual workshop today for local enterprises to share their experiences and best practices and unite so businesses in North Durham can emerge from this pandemic stronger and together. So right now, I'm going to welcome Patrice Esper from BACD, who have organized over 40 events for this week to help entrepreneurs in Durham region. Please welcome Patrice Esper.
Thank you very much, Annie. Thank you very much, everybody who's here and part of this whole experience. As Annie mentioned, this is the 8th year of Do It in Durham. It was something that was initiated by Teresa Shaver, who's our Executive Director of Business Advisory Center Durham, BACD, but it's not a BACD silo or sole event, if that makes any sense. It's a collaborative effort. So I just want to read a little bit about what, as Annie highlighted there, we are in our 8th year. Do It in Durham is a major part of the Durham region business calendar. It is our collaborative series of events held during Global Entrepreneurship Week, which happens to be this week. It is brought to you by local businesses and organizations such as Annie's Uxbridge Networking Group, who are already doing it in Durham. What do we mean by doing it in Durham? Well, what we like to think is that if you're thinking to start a business, grow a business, hire, invest, then we want to encourage people to do that in Durham region. Global Entrepreneurship Week is where we celebrate the job creators, innovators, entrepreneurs, and businesses, you globally in over 170 countries. And what's beautiful about us doing this as a collaborative event is that we make noise. We actually put Durham region on the map. And we do so by, if you can, helping us use the hashtags. So use the hashtags, get your information out there, get the voice out there. Hashtag Do It in Durham 2020. Hashtag GEW Canada 2020. So they look for those hashtags to share your experiences and get the word out. What are you doing for your business, for yourself? Let your audience know, let your clients know you're open for business, how to reach you, and what you're doing to help improve. This year, the focus is how businesses can reimagine, relaunch, and recover. And the events that we had this week, and we still have some time today, there are a few events after this one that you're welcome to register for. These events covered digitalization, virtual networking like this, online marketing, and globalization. So it's an incredible time. We couldn't do it without you, Annie, and everybody who's in the audience. We give a big shout out to the North, because you are very much part of the Durham region. At the Business Advisory Center Durham, we cover all 8 municipalities. So if you've never heard of us, please check us out. I know Annie can share more, and I will hand it back over to Annie. Thank you again. Looking forward to meeting some people today.
Thank you, Patrice.
All right, let's take a little time machine. We'll start off by setting the stage and taking us all the way back to mid-March. On March 12th, we were all thinking about our March break and had never heard of the term social distancing before. And since March 13th, we've said it every day. We went into lockdown and been operating with the specter of social distancing surrounding us on our daily basis. And business was allowed to continue if you could abide by the stay-at-home orders, which was, no pressure on everybody, right? So maybe we can get a sense of where everyone was starting on day one. And what parts of business as usual was kind of thrown into the wood chipper at that time. So maybe Sandra, we can start with you. Maybe you can introduce, I guess, who you are, what your business is, and maybe what challenges you were immediately faced with as soon as this lockdown was given to everybody.
Sure thing. Hello, everyone. I'm Sandra Bannon, owner of Forget-Me-Not-Alpacas in Beaverton. And we've been running our alpaca farm here for upwards of 5 years, but for most of that, we were working full-time and trying to ramp up. Last year, I decided to leave my job and focus on the farm full-time because we were getting so busy. So we did a good job. We had an open house with Durham Farm Fresh. They did their gates open. It was a phenomenal. It was really building, and so happy about the decision to leave my job and focus on this. But then when March hit, of course, everything stopped. So when we first started hearing about COVID, we're trying to determine how to move forward. Alpaca products are known for their softness and warmth, so we sell the majority of our products themselves in the fall and winter. That's our major time for sales. And so we were kind of ramping down from that stage of our sales. And as with all farming, we kind of take advantage of all the different aspects to make money. So we sell manure in the spring and fall. We sell our products in the winter and the fall, and sometimes we sell alpacas. But in the summer, our major focus is on agritourism. That's where our bread and butter is for the summer season and the early fall. So this was a bit of a challenge for us. How do we move forward? And I guess the biggest problem I had was information overload. We started seeing all kinds of things on social media. There'd be groups offering help, free webinars, government assistance, e-commerce offers, and then regulations, and then more regulations, and then changing regulations, and then more webinars. So for me, that was the overwhelming part. I think I started to suffer from analysis paralysis and the ever-changing environment.
Okay.
Eventually, a couple of things passed my computer screen that helped me determine what to do. And one was an offer from Shop Here program put on by Digital Main Street that helped you put your business online. Now, this was a big shift for us because as a farm, we're more experiential. We have people come here, see the animals, feel the softness, and then they might want to buy a product. So for us to go into e-commerce was a bit of a shift. We had to think about it much differently than we had been. The Shop Here program was phenomenal. E-commerce was a bit of an overwhelming beast. So to have a technical person help you build that product was great. And the biggest thing we did was put in a scheduling tool for farm tours. So basically, the programs helped us a lot, but for me, it's been the information overload. And then we sort of got into an equilibrium for a while, but now Christmas is coming and everyone is trying to help again, which is great. It's phenomenal. The help is just so welcome, but it's a lot. Yeah. There's Canada made, Ontario made, Brock Shop Week, Durham Shop Week, online shows, Facebook groups and posts, and it's just, for me personally, a challenge to keep up with it all and then prioritize what we should be a part of, and what makes the most sense for us.
All right, thanks, Sandra, for kind of what you guys are dealing with there. Annie, maybe we can move on with you, and you can tell us a bit about who you are and what your business is, and I guess what you were faced with beginning in March and then into the reopening.
Yes. So my name is Annie Hardock, and I'm the owner of ABS, Abacus Brain Study in Uxbridge for the past 10 years with a learning center right in downtown Uxbridge. My challenge, it's an after-school program, so students come to our location after school once a week. What happened in March was when the lockdown happened just after the March break. I have the challenge of one is continuing deliver our training program students. That's how we can keep the business going. This one is delivering of service, right? So that's my challenge. And when I see the challenge and I pivoted right away is finding a platform for a virtual classroom, which is the same as what we're using here today as a virtual classroom, and then combining with our existing online system, which we already have. That's why make the pivoting a lot easier. So my challenge was solved by a quick decision in delivering the service online. So the interruption is less, but we do have less students in that way. And the second is about growth, my challenge, because we started in March delivering online, but we have a very slow month in the summer anyway, right? So in order to survive that mode, we have to try to recruit new students online. So that's our challenge for about growth. And another part was about the rent. That that part is a challenge until the government with the rent relief assistance program came up. But I blessed my landlord that she actually just by herself just gave the rent release that relief just matches the government program. She herself did not apply for the grant because she already owns the building, even she qualified, but she just find it easier to just give me the break. And then the third one would be the challenge is scaling, because now enrolling new students, especially during the pandemic, is a challenge, and also now is online. And also I have to now engage students online, right? They can easily just walk off the screen, right? Or click away and disappear from me. So I have learned the method throughout these 6 months by teaching online and get the skills as how to engage students. And because the students there range from 4 to 12 years old. That's my challenge. Thank you.
I was hoping you could introduce yourself and what you do. And then I know that the shutdown when everybody was told stay at home, that's got to be like not what you want to hear when you're a restaurant. So I'm sure you have an interesting tale to tell.
Yeah, so my name is Swapneet, and I took over Boston Pizza at Uxbridge in 2018. Everything worked really, really well. So I bought another one in Whitby, and everything was going on absolutely well. Everything was on track. Then suddenly March happened, and all we could hear is like, there's a virus and so much uncertainty that what's going to happen next, how long this going to last, how long they're going to shut us down. For a restaurant, as you said, everything is about people. If you don't have people, you don't have revenue, but your expense stands there. So for us, when everything started in the March, we were just trying to, analyze the situation because we don't have any revenue coming, but the expenses stands there. So they shut us down. So we completely shut down in March for at least a month. And then we went through what should be our plan, we sat with our corporate. When we reopened in May, we started with takeout and deliveries, and then suddenly when we started getting back on track, we were introduced with so many new protocols, which were like COVID protocols with so many checklists, so many new sanitizing policies, and we were more focused on the back of the house rather than focusing on the item recipes, how it looks. We were more focused on sanitizing and making sure everybody is getting screened, and if everybody cough or sneeze, like, no, somebody needs to go home. So there's so many challenges, but then with help of corporate, with our of course landlord and the government relief, we were able to survive the situation.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Robert,
no problem.
Happens to even the worst of us. So, Robert, you can perhaps introduce yourself and explain what it is that you do over at Communicate Freely and how the shutdown interrupted what you guys do.
Well, hi, everyone. Robert Rock, Director of Client Experience for Communicate Freely. Communicate Freely is an internet service provider that is in the Port Perry, Scugog Island, Blackstock, Caesarea area. So it was a very unique and interesting challenge for us because As people began working from home, we provide a fiber to the home, so very high-speed internet, which became a prime desired thing for everybody. So we were in a position where, as people were transitioning to the home, if they had older internet connections that weren't necessarily as stable and was fine for casual use, didn't match business use. You know, when people look at their internet speeds, they often focus on download speeds, not realizing that when you're working from home and you're doing Zoom calls or, you know, a call such as this, a virtual event, that's dependent upon up speeds. So we actually had a scramble, and it was very interesting because we have an enormous amount of requests for installation because people needed to begin using our services, but we're also afraid to have people come into their home. So our main focus was on safety for our technicians, on going into the homes for themselves and for the people who whose homes we were going in to do these installations, to make it absolutely as safe as possible for everyone involved. You know, and so for us, that was the prime focus was on safety, safety of our technicians and safety of our clients as we were getting more and more people installed. Something that we did as well to help our client base face the challenges that we were in is even on people who are on lower speed packages with us. We went across the board and raised everybody's speeds up to be able to take the additional strain of people working from home, kids doing school from home, and all the additional strain on the bandwidth that they may have that wouldn't be covered in their normal packages. So instead of having people actually start paying for a higher package to deal with the additional load, we just gave people increased bandwidth for the first eight months or so of the pandemic. To address that problem for our clients.
We've heard a lot about different businesses making adjustments, certainly to not only address what it is they do and how they serve people, but a lot of good times where I remember Netflix said, "Hey, listen, we're not gonna, you can have unlimited or whatever, something like that." It was pretty good. So yeah, I guess it's a good opportunity to maybe segue into talking about what adjustments had to be made. You mentioned Robert was starting maybe for a moment or two. You said there were some issues with safety regarding your installers and things like that. What were some of the measures that you had to take, the adjustments you had to make that you hadn't expected?
Well, I mean, obviously, from prior to March, it was never really much of a concern, right? Our install team would come into the home, do the installations as necessary based on the services, whether it was internet, TV, home phone, whatever that was. And you don't really think about those safety measures the same way that you needed to post the beginning of the pandemic. So for us, it was securing PPE to make sure that the installers were wearing appropriate PPE. It was letting the clients know, hey, our technicians are going to be there. Can we make sure that we're respecting social distancing? So making sure that they had hand sanitizer to use, making sure that they had good masks, reminding the clients that we were going to be there. Often we have clients who are very interested. Hey, what's going on? What are you doing? And kind of want to hover over top of the technicians to see that process, which is, just completely normal and natural of just being interested in what the technology is going on. So to try and gently remind people, hey, at this time we do have to maintain that social distance. And sometimes even, we would be cautioning clients that if they were higher risk, we understand that it's your home, but when the technician is in there, you may also want to use protective equipment to protect yourself. So it was a bit of a mind shift for the technicians, getting used to working with PPE, and also the clients to understand understand the social distancing aspects when the technicians were there. It's been a relatively smooth transition. It's that, where the need for high-speed internet has trumped potentially a lot of concerns that someone may have. The feedback often that we were getting from people is, I need somebody here yesterday because, I had 4 Zoom calls crash yesterday. So it's core critical to get something done. I need the internet installed. So the install team was actually very busy. And at the same time, we were actually opening up new areas. So initially we had done downtown Port Perry and Scugog Island, running fiber everywhere. But in the process of this, we were also expanding to Blackstock. So we had all of the clients from Blackstock coming online, and they were most happy that it was conveniently at a time where there was an enormous amount of desire to have higher speed internet opportunities. So yeah, it's been good. You know, the expansion continues, and we're looking at other smaller communities. You know, the raison d'etre of the organization is to provide high-speed internet to underserved communities in the area, and we continue to do that through expansion. And 2020 should see us in many more smaller communities. So that was for us a big shift.
Yeah, good for Blackstock to be that rare group that had good timing for all of this.
Yeah.
Now, Sandra, you had mentioned at Forget-Me-Not-Alpacas that you had embraced e-commerce. I guess what struggles did you have with that, or maybe it went very smooth? What has your experience been, and what adaptations were you interested in making to reach your customers as you're going forward?
Right. So once we made the decision to embrace online store, we also decided to add on a second tool that was a scheduling tool for farm tours, and that turned out to be honestly a really great change for our business. It worked out really well, but we had to shift then from trying to figure out what to do to trying to figure out what to do safely. So yeah, I agree, safety was a huge thing with us as well. And I think what our challenge was, how are we going to route people in and out of the farm in the most safe manner? So we came up with this idea to do it in a loop. And so we would send people down kind of a self-guided tour with storyboards, and then we would meet them in a far pasture and review the safety rules with them, and then give them some food, and they can go feed the alpacas, and then they would come out a different way. So that seemed to work pretty well, and we ended up setting up our store outside in a tent because the weather was nice, so no one had to come inside to purchase any of our products, which actually ended up being better as well, because the store was right at the gate where they were coming out from the tour, as opposed to trying to route people inside. The biggest challenge for us was trying to keep track of the numbers. So like I said, we implemented a scheduling tool, and we decided on the number 8 per hour. We thought that was the number that we could manage properly, and that turned out to be, I think, pretty accurate. And so we would do all of our tours on one day. So prior to this, it had been kind of casual. People would call, say we want a tour. We'd say, okay. Now we did it all very organized on one day. You booked online. That also took care of the payment for us. So the payment was made up front. And so people would come, and everyone wanted to be outdoors. It was really important to people to have activity that they could take their kids, something they could do out of doors. And so it ended up being sold out. Every time we opened a slot a day, it was totally sold out.
That's great.
Signage became important. We really hadn't had a lot of signage up to that point, but we put up a lot of storyboards, plus posters about COVID, hand sanitizer station, and we also put up a poster about the safety rules, even though we reiterated them with people when they came in to get the feed for the alpacas.
Sandra, who's better to wrangle people than somebody who's been wrangling alpacas all this time?
Yeah, but it worked out. Honestly, we're really happy with it, and we will definitely continue with that way of doing things.
All right, terrific. Thank you. I guess moving along, Annie, maybe we can start with you. I know that you probably had to make some new investments in either processes or in strategies to go online and meet your students there. How costly were these investments, and what sort of new things did you have to put in place to make it work?
Yes. Actually, the transition was easy for us. Just like I said, we already have our online system, which normally children can access from their home or from a school that we deliver the after-school program. So the transition was easy, but to invest in getting new enrollment, that's the challenge, and that's the investment. What's best is to put out lots of money on marketing to a large area that now I can serve. So with that, I started out small by having the existing network that I have, and I offered the free trial lesson 1 hour online. And through that, I get parents who believe in the program and enrolled in the program, just a referral. And I paid parents like with any referral like that comes in, I rather pay it that way. So once I get the student enrolled, so I get income, then I can apply it and to credit the tuition or pay whoever refer. So that way, then I save the money and make sure that the money is well invested if I do the marketing. It's tried by referral. So I have success that, I was able to, in September, enroll students that they would not have been my student because it's over an hour away from me, but I serve online. And I also serve the private school after-school program, which I have been doing for the past 3 years to deliver the program in person in the city. And now I'm serving them online. So the opportunity suddenly opened up. Now it's just not in the Toronto area. Any area I can serve. Yes, in the world, actually. Thank you.
Okay, and it saves on mileage too. Yeah, not bad.
Yes.
Very good. Who do I have here? Swapneet. You too must have had to make quite a few investments and things like that. I can't imagine. What sort of things did you need to go through to get your restaurant running again?
Yeah, a lot of investments. So we started with putting some barriers, plexiglasses, which started with like, oh, we just have to do a host stand glass. And then it started with, oh, we have to put barriers and glasses on every booth. And then it started with, we have to do some contactless deliveries. We have to set up the online payments. We have to do some curbside deliveries. Every step costed us money. But I think it is going to help us in future, and we're going to retain all these, all these services. We're going to use them in future, and I'm pretty sure they're going to help us in the long run. Because as we said, like need is the invent. When we need something, we figure out the ways to do it, and sometimes it really works out for you. So there are quite many things which we used, spent some money, but worked out really well.
You have a lot of very public-facing opportunity. Was there much work in conditioning the public to, I guess, adhere to the rules as well when they come to do the pickups, when they come to make their orders, or when they come to sit in the reopenings? Was there much work in getting them conditioned up to behave according to code or protocol while they're visiting?
I must say that everybody has understand that this situation is not a normal situation, and everybody's trying to do their best to do their own part and serving the community in their own way. So I must say the people who have come for pickups or dine-in have been so much more understanding, because they know that we are trying to figure out ways through this pandemic. Everybody is so more cooperative than before. If there's some issues or problem, everybody's adjusting, and I have feel that people have become more closer, more understanding of, more concerned, more caring for each other, and this has definitely bring people closer.
Mm-hmm. There's something we said that we're all experiencing this together, as opposed to just one business having a crisis and everybody says, so that's wonderful. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that works out. And Robert, to yourself as well, the I guess investments or changes in processes or strategies, what were those investments? You mentioned PPE to begin with and things like that, and then also you maybe had to contact your clients in advance and give them a little bit of a protocol messaging. What experiences do you have with new investments and where they costed when you were making or training with staff and stuff?
Yeah, so for us, the one of the investments obviously would be PPE. The ongoing investment is for us is continuing to expand the service area, which has been going on. For us as well, the investment was really an investment in our client base. Understanding that what they were going through and the experiences that they were having. And as I had said earlier, that was one of the reasons that we just gave everyone more download speeds and upload speeds. So that was an investment that we took on at no cost to our clients to make sure that they were having as best an experience as possible as they were struggling to figure out how to work from home and how to have their kids do schooling from home and things like that. So providing that expanded capability to them, we felt was very important and took that cost on ourselves to be able to extend that expanded capability to the client base. So for us that was a key importance is to really give back to the clients and ensure that they were having as seamless experience as possible, and as well investing in our support team. We're really proud of the level of support that we're able to provide to our client base when people call in and they're looking for help or looking for answers, by having a really a responsive, courteous team helping them through that transition. Most people don't always have a good experience in calling into their internet service provider, and we try to bring a differentiator to the table with that experience on getting someone who is courteous, who is a local person who lives in the area and maybe your neighbor. I can't tell you how many times I'm on the phone and I go, "Oh yeah, you're just down the street from me. How's it going?" And having that conversation when talking to somebody, it's just a bit of a difference, and really focusing on that. And as I said, for us, our main focus in an investment has been back into our client base to make sure that they are being able to weather the pandemic as seamlessly as possible.
Good answer. Well, I know we were hoping to get into the breakouts around 10:10, so we're real close up against it, but maybe we can just go around the horn and everyone can chime in. Annie, I don't know if you guys have the same layout as I, but I've got Annie, Robert, Sandra, and Swapneet. Maybe we just go around the horn real quick and you can confirm or deny. You think that the investments that you've put in place now, if post-pandemic you believe that they've been worthwhile, they may be something that you'll continue to see value with after everybody's been inoculated. Annie, can we start with you?
Yes, thank you for the question. Yes, what I have implemented on investing in online education is going to go beyond, because this delivery platform for interactive with a live teacher and online system to engage student will be able to deliver the education to a much larger scale. And I have currently collaborate with Mohawk College with a team of early childhood education students on a project on virtual educations and research on homeschooling. And in January, I have a team of graduate students from Durham College on another research project and also implementing some of these virtual delivery of online learning to young children. So I see the future is lots of opportunity for online education. That's what I support. Thank you.
That's great. Robert, to you, the investments that you've made, what do you say? Are they going to be something that lasts for a while afterwards?
Yeah, I believe so. I think the way in which that we have transitioned to doing the business is sustainable. It builds goodwill within our client base, and I think that is just a positive trajectory for any organization to be on, especially as we move into new communities. The method of onboarding that we've developed with some of the projects that we've done, I think will carry over and will benefit us from a long-term perspective.
Terrific, thank you. Sandra, yourself, you said you've had to put in protocol signage, the online ordering, the e-commerce. Are these things that are going to last beyond the pandemic?
100%. So I think for us, it kind of forced us into thinking more about online business, and that has definitely extended our customer reach. It also makes it a lot easier to target people when you're doing, because they have one place to go and it's very simple and all the information is there. As far as the farm tours go, yes, definitely it's increased the number of people who come to the farm, though that, like I said, may have something to do with the pandemic as well. But I think this summer at least that will carry forward, and people can still get the experience with the alpacas. So yeah, it's really kind of forced us to up our game a bit, and we will definitely be keeping it in place.
Terrific, thank you. And Swapneet, I don't know, is the plexiglass going to be handy beyond the pandemic? I'm sure you must have a lot of more things, new experiences.
Yeah, like including plexiglasses, we have also installed some dispensers for peroxide, some chemicals which are like really, really good. We're going to keep using them.
I didn't cut her off, I swear.
She may need she may need a new ISP. I'm just saying.
From what I know about restaurants, the cleaning protocols and stuff like that, they got that down to a science. And they say that they found new chemicals and stuff like that. Better efficiency, new ways to do that is exciting. Because nothing better than having security and knowing that it's very clean there.
While we're waiting for Swapneet, I was just wondering if I could ask Robert a question. Robert, when are you expanding to Brock?
We're taking a look at expansion. We can chat after as to where we are. There's a couple of different factors that will depend on our expansion plans for 2021, and we're actually going through that right now to see what 2021 will look like. As I'm sure you can all appreciate, laying fiber optic cable in the ground up to communities and up to people's homes is not cheap, and it is all our own infrastructure. We're not leveraging a Bell or Rogers infrastructure. It's physically our own cable and our own fiber optics that we are installing and laying. So if there is a limiter on how much and how far we can go when it's all our own infrastructure. But we continue to look at expansion. Happy to talk about exactly where you are, and we can see how that fits into future expansion.
Well, good. Well, I don't know that Swapneet's going to make it back, but we did have scheduled our breakout groups.